Serenity now. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Okay, what is your name again today?
It's Total
Total
Meltdown. You gave
Meltdown.
me that name because I'm having meltdowns, like big time meltdowns last
Having a
night and
meltdown.
today 'cause I'm
All
having
right.
email
All sorts
calendar
of
issues and I'm just
tech problems, all sorts of tech problems.
By the way, can I just ask really quickly before you say anything at all, in
Right,
case there are
right.
experts out here, does anybody really know the difference between Hotmail, Outlook, Exchange, Live.com, and Microsoft Online? If anybody knows the difference between those 5 things,
I'm not going to raise my hand. I don't know. I don't know the difference between any of those things. Does
'cause I
anybody
hate
know?
everything Microsoft
It's
right
all
now. I
about the
hate them.
cloud. It's all about the cloud. Nobody
Yeah, and then
understands
the
the
cloud,
cloud.
there's like the cloud is
Nobody.
also in the mix.
Nobody understands the cloud. Nobody does. Okay. You guys, yeah, she's having a total mockdown this morning. All right. So make sure that you get your thunderstorm
For people who may not know what
from
a
Eden
thunderstorm
Pure.
looks like.
It takes away all the stank, y'all. All that stank. Save $200 and get free shipping right now on the Thunderstorm 3-pack. Visit EdenPureDeals.com. Enter code CHICKS. Get rid of the stank. You know you have
Giving
some.
a 360 view.
Also, tomorrow we're talking to Dinesh D'Souza, our friend.
Yeah, we are.
Dinesh. We haven't talked to him in quite some time. Kind of excited about that. It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
We used to talk to him once a week on our radio show, and so it's been a while. We got to catch up with Dinesh. And we'll be talking to him about his movie Police State. If you guys haven't seen that movie, you should check that out. We'll be chatting with him tomorrow, and then it'll drop on Saturday afternoon. So you guys can check out that deep dive on Saturday. Also wanted to I'm taking a point of personal privilege for Mock. She and her family did like a signing for her son.
It was so fun, and I wore
did
this.
like you guys, they did like the
sweatshirt.
little signing for college, and like with all the professional photographers, like for her son's college, because she, she's like the proud mama of a son who signed. They do like the signing,
Like he signed
you
to play
know,
lacrosse.
Isn't that neat? So they did that last night. That's where she was doing. She did that, and then she had to kind of make it through the debate stuff last night. But proud mama. Mock is a proud mama. You guys can congratulate her.
It was really cool.
That is kind of neat.
It was so cool for all the kids. Like 29 kids, you guys are committed to play sports, to be student athletes at their next phase in their education. And it was just really cool to see where everybody's going and like hear what they're majoring in and what sport they play. And it was just really neat.
You're going to have to share some pictures on the Insiders and Locals pages when you get
do that. Yes.
The professional photos and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes. He will be playing at Belmont Abbey College in North Carolina. So somebody
so excited for you. God,
really, really excited.
And then we've got 4 more years of my girl still doing all that stuff. I don't know. She'll probably become a truck driver. I don't know what's going to happen.
I think she's going to be swimming.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I think that'd be great. I could totally see her doing that. We'll see.
Oh my gosh, you guys. I have a confession, and that is that I was so caught up in my own personal hell in Microsoft land that I did not watch the debate in real time, real live. I didn't watch it. I caught up on it this morning, but I did not watch it in real time. I didn't tweet about it. I didn't do any of that. So, but I feel caught up, if you will. And so if you didn't watch it, don't worry, because you're going to get plenty of updates about that here today. Leslie L., thank you so much. She says, Mock, my daughter signed her NLI for basketball in Danville, Indiana. It is surreal. It really kind of is. It is surreal. That's a whole experience right there. Mendy Owens, thank you. She says, a gift for you on my birthday.
Oh my gosh,
you ladies.
Mendy.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Mendy.
birthday. Happy birthday.
That's so nice. So nice. I guess like one of the big things that I noticed when I was reviewing like the trending clips from the debate is that there was none of Tim Scott. Like not a single one was trending. So you were telling me that he said some things.
He did. He said some things last night, and then he's very dear. He's just a dear, sweet man. And then I usually listen. He's just not very exciting. So he's just dear. I feel like he should be a preacher.
Yes.
And not so much president,
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the big news about Tim Scott was not anything about what he said. It was the fact that now everybody knows about his girlfriend.
I want to go bow chicka bow, but then that would be weird because I don't even think that's happening. I don't even know about that. Do you really think that's happening? I don't know.
I have my suspicions.
I know.
They've been dating allegedly for 7 or 8 months, something like that.
They're cute. She's adorable.
Yeah, I mean, they are a lovely little couple. That was her first appearance with him, so that was kind of a big deal. Here's more pictures of her. And
look at her.
They apparently were set up through their church. And they do a Bible study together. They play pickleball, and she beats him at that, apparently. And I don't know, you guys. I'm just going to say it, okay?
She's going to say it.
Seems sus to me.
You think it's sus?
Just a little sus. It's a little sus to me.
You think that it was maybe like set up by his political camp or something, and they were like,
I mean, the timing just seems very convenient that now all of a sudden he has this perfect girlfriend. I don't know. There's something off to me about it. It's sus.
You think it's like a political move here? I mean, I don't know.
I don't want to think that. I love Tim Scott. I just think he's so precious, but like this just seems
the timing is
weird
because he's really busy. I mean, how would he have time for a girlfriend? He's like super busy, like running for president and whatnot. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she was like, that's hot.
I mean, you never know.
I'm going to date him because he's a presidential candidate. Maybe she was like, bound.
And listen, if they are legit together and happy, then God bless them, and may they live long and have a lovely life together.
Have lots of babies, right? Lots of conservative babies, right?
Mm-hmm. Have a big bunch of babies. I'm all for it. I'm just saying that it just seems too perfectly timed, and that seems odd to me. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they're a fake couple. I'm just saying that maybe they are. And maybe they're not. I don't know, is my point.
A healthy dose of skepticism, just a healthy dose.
I'm just having trouble believing literally anything these days.
Right now. So, I know we don't believe anybody or anyone. Ever. We're so terrible.
I know. I feel bad for saying it, but I mean, I was thinking it. I feel like other people may be thinking it, so I'm just saying it out loud on behalf of.
If you're a part of the government at all, we don't believe you. We just don't believe you.
Yeah, if you're part of the government, you are sus to me, is the thing.
no matter how nice you are, we don't believe you. Right.
Screaming Mimi, thank you very much. Screaming Mimi says, happy birthday to my husband, Wes. Thank you for making me your world and introducing me to the Chicks family. That's so awesome.
I'd love
to hear that. Oh my gosh. And happy birthday indeed to him. I'm trying to find my little banner because I want to make sure that people know how to get their hands on the most amazing oil ever. Why can't I find the oil? I can't find it. There it is.
You got to find the oil. There it is. Okay.
There it is. Look at this. Look at the size of this bottle of oil. This is what is considered a full-size bottle of oil from fresh pressed olive oil, the greatest, freshest, most delicious olive oil on the planet. This is amazing. So just the other day I was texting Daisy and I was like, I'm cooking and like I was
like, who are you?
I need more oil. Have you gotten more oil? I need to get more oil. And she was like, I don't even know who you are. Is this, am I being hacked?
I know. What's happening with the cooking? What is that?
But I'm telling you what, if I do not have fresh pressed olive oil on hand, I start to get a little panicky because it adds that much flavor and makes that much of a difference in anything that you're cooking. It really is the fats from olive oil that bring out the flavor of anything that you're making. And I was not a believer in the power of olive oil until I tried fresh pressed olive oil. And now I'm a total believer and I will use it straight up with bread or salad dressing or whatever. And the fact that you can get a free full-size bottle of it by only paying $1 for shipping is freaking amazing. And if you don't take advantage of that, I don't even know what's wrong with you. Get yourself a free full-size bottle. Taste the difference for yourself. You're going to be amazed. You can do that at chicksloveoliveoil.com. That's chicksloveoliveoil.com, because we do. We do. Okay, so let's get into some debate stuff. All right, so I don't, we're not going to take the whole entire show to just talk about nothing but the debate, but we will share several of the more memorable clips, and then we can talk about reaction to it. The first, and I don't even actually know if this was at the end or the beginning, but this is a moment where Lester Holt was asking the candidates, why, Trump's leading all of you, like Trump's blowing you all out of the water. Like why should we listen to any of you? Why should any of you become president over Trump, who's leading in the polls by a crazy amount? And so I thought DeSantis did a really, really solid job answering this question. We'll start out with him out of the gate.
Donald Trump is the first ex-president in more than 100 years to run for the White House again. And he remains popular among Republican primary voters as his legal challenges mount. Governor DeSantis, let me begin with you on this one. Speak to Republican voters who are supporting Donald Trump. Why should you and not him be the Republican nominee to face Joe Biden a year from now?
This country is in trouble, and the elites that have put us here, they don't care about you. They don't care that you're having to grapple with higher grocery prices or have higher gas prices. They don't care that your family's less secure because of the open border that's allowed drugs and even terrorists to come into this country. Well, I care. I am not going to sit idly by and let this country continue its downward spiral. We need leadership, and we need it now. I'll take the hits. I'll take the arrows. I'll take the slings, because ultimately it's not about me. It's about you. I will fight for you. I will make sure to lead this country's revival, and I will win for you and your family. Actions speak louder than words. We don't have time for excuses, and it's not something that we're going to be able to have all these distractions. As a veteran, I will get the job done. Now, if you look where we are now, it's a lot different than where we were in 2016. And Donald Trump's a lot different guy than he was in 2016. He owes it to you to be on this stage and explain why he should get another chance. He should explain why he didn't have Mexico pay for the border wall. He should explain why he racked up so much debt. He should explain why he didn't drain the swamp. And he said Republicans were going to get tired of winning. Well, we saw last night, I'm sick of Republicans losing. In Florida, I showed how it's done. 1 year ago here, we won a historic victory, including a massive landslide right here in Miami-Dade County. That's how we have to do it. So I promise you this, as the nominee, next November, I'll get the job done. And as president, I will deliver.
Your time is up. Let me turn to Ambassador Haley.
I mean, how do you feel about that answer?
Well, I mean, he has a point about losing. I'm kind of tired of it too. I'm really tired of losing. So there is that. And, people can be like, oh my God, Trump, Trump, Trump all the way. And I loved him when he was president too. But if we're not winning and if we don't win in 2024, then none of it matters. And so he has a really big point about the winning. We need to have somebody who freaking wins.
It would be really nice.
Yeah, we need a winner. So that's what really concerns me. And if Trump can't win, then we're totally effed. That's what I'm really concerned about. And people will fight me on that, and they'll get pissy because they'll be like, oh my God, Daisy, you're not loyal to Trump. Okay, well, but I mean, I can't be loyal to Trump if he doesn't freaking win. So, okay.
Alexandra, thank you. She says, fresh olive oil is the best. My grandparents make their own in Croatia. Well, they should get in touch with TJ at Fresh Pressed Olive Oil and maybe start a deal, because TJ goes and hunts for olive oil all over the world and gets the very, very, very best stuff for his company and then sends it out to all of us. So you should hook them up, Alexandra. Thank you very much. All right. So Vivek had a very interesting sort of explosion as an introduction to his whole debate last night. And he started by calling out Rana, by calling out the media, by calling out the moderators that were sitting right in front of him. And it was something to behold. Check this out.
Let me turn to Ambassador Haley. Why you and not the former president?
Yeah, we'll get to her.
Voters want and need to hear them. Mr. Ramaswamy, let me turn to you. Please make your case. Why should you be the nominee and not the former president?
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night. We've become a party of losers at the end of the day. It was a cancer in the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party. For that matter, Ron, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you. And frankly, look, the people there cheering for losing in the Republican Party. Think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. We'd have 10 times the viewership, asking questions that GOP primary voters actually care about and bringing more people into our party. You think the Democrats, and we've got Kristen Welker here, you think the Democrats would actually hire Greg Gutfeld to host a Democratic debate? They wouldn't do it. And so the fact of the matter is, I mean, Kristen, I'm going to use this time because this is actually about you in the media and the corrupt media establishment. Ask you, the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that you pushed on this network for years, was that real or was that Hillary Clinton made up disinformation? Answer the question. Go. Mr. Roberts, this is how we get our country back. We need accountability because this media rigged the 2016 election. They rigged the 2020 election with the Hunter Biden laptop story.
Mr. Ramaswamy,
and they're going to rig this election.
Your time is up.
Accountability.
Let me turn to Governor Christie. Why you?
Okay, so tell me what he said in that entire thing that was wrong. What did he say that was incorrect? I mean, everybody's like, oh my God, somebody said he looks like he's going to prom. Okay, maybe he looks like he's going to prom. But
was he in a tux? I didn't even notice that.
I know he's young and a lot of people don't like him and he's not going to win. But what did he say in that entire speech that he just gave that was wrong? Everything was correct. Everything he said was spot on. He's correct.
Yeah, I mean, he went after everybody. And the fact that he did it at like an RNC hosted debate, which Ronna is responsible for, was just like,
exactly,
justice, man. I love
right.
that.
And the one thing that I wish Trump would do is distance himself from that hag.
He will not.
And he
thanks
needs
her
to.
at every possible opportunity.
He needs to do that. He needs to do that for people like me. For people, everybody's saying if we need to remain loyal to Trump, we have to be okay. Well, one thing that would make people like me be like, okay, I'm 100% on board with Trump is if he would distance himself from losers like Ronna McDaniel.
Or just at least own any mistake.
Right.
And have any accountability for any mistake, anything that he would have done differently. He will never, ever own a mistake, not a single one. But we have a great example of that later on. But yeah, go ahead.
She is the most establishment-y of the establishment. Like she will not, she is awful. She is taking the RNC down. Like she is making us the losery of the loserist. And so he has got to say, she's a loser. She's a loser. You're fired. Like he's got to do, it used to be that he would do that. And he won't do it. And I really, really wish that he would at least say to people like me, yes, she's a loser. Like she's bringing us down and she sucks. And why won't he do that?
I don't know. It is mystifying to me. It is totally mystifying. I don't get it either. It's bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Okay. I have a confession to make about this next clip. And that is, this is the only Chris Christie clip that I have because Chris Christie was asked a question about TikTok. And so he's very, 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 very opposed to TikTok. But he was so deliberate in the way he delivered his responses last night that I had to speed this up. So I made him a tiny bit chipmunky compared to his normal speed of voice. So just so you know that, the editing is mine. I didn't edit any words, obviously. I just sped him up because I was like, dude, spit it the freak out. Here's Chris Christie on TikTok.
One used to push propaganda and divide America. It's spyware, he said, a means of surveillance. Governor Christie, do you agree with Chairman Gallagher? And if so, would you ban or force the sale of TikTok?
I agree 100% with Chairman Gallagher. And let me say this. TikTok is not only spyware. It is polluting the minds of American young people all throughout this country. And they're doing it intentionally. And when you saw what happened in the last few weeks, with all of this anti-Semitic, horrible stuff that their algorithms were pushing out at a gargantuan rate. This is China trying to further divide the United States of America. And this is one of the big failings among many of the Trump administration. He talked tough about TikTok. I heard him do it many times. But when it came down to it, he did not ban them when he could have and should have. And now since then, we've had an additional nearly 6 years of this type of poison being put out throughout the United States, even putting aside the spying, which we know is going on in the theft of American personal data and information. So in my first week as president, we would ban TikTok. They want to go ahead and sell it? Let them go ahead and sell it. But I'll tell you another reason we would do it. Facebook's not in China. X is not in China. They're not permitting a free flow of information to the Chinese people from our social media companies, yet we just open the door and let them do what they're doing. TikTok should be banned because they are poisoning American minds, and I would do it week one.
Thank you, Governor. I want to go to...
Well, I mean, China's also a communist country. You know, it's
right.
Like, and they ban a lot of stuff from their people. So I'm being devil's advocate because I hate TikTok, but you know what I mean? It's like, so I tread lightly with this because I kind of go back and forth on the TikTok thing because I am like, okay, I know it exists. I don't like it, but I like to be able to choose what I can digest and what I use and what I don't use and what my children can use and what they don't use. And so I don't allow my child to use a lot of most socials. I definitely don't let her use TikTok. She will not have her hands on TikTok. And so, I don't like it. I don't like TikTok. I know what it does. I know what China's doing with it. I mean, I'm aware of it. I feel like I'm educated on what it is doing to our children. And it's obvious what China's doing with TikTok. So I make the choice, but I don't know about the government starting to ban stuff like that. It makes me very nervous, you guys, when they start banning this social and that social. And it's like, really? Because then we become China. That makes me,
and then ultimately, how are we different?
Right. That makes me a little nervous because then they start banning the flow of information. What's next? It's a gateway. So yikes.
Well, there was some serious argument about TikTok between Nikki and Vivek, which we will get to in just a second. But I wanted to remind everybody, too, that every single week there are different deals at patriotmobile.com/chicks. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the wrong. No, not Patriot Mobile. I'm trying to talk to you about For Patriots. Oh my God, I got the word Patriot stuck in my head. There are different deals every single week at 4patriots.com/chicks. And you can see them every week if you go to 4patriots.com/chicks. That's the number 4. And so look at their deals every single week before they recycle and get rid of them and do different deals. So there may be stuff that you are missing that you want to add into your own personal arsenal of things that help you prepare for an emergency or a disaster of some sort. And right now, I mean, who knows? The world is like on fire everywhere. So there's no being too prepared for any kind of disaster or emergency. And 4patriots.com/chicks has everything that you can possibly think of and a lot of things that you haven't even thought of ways to prepare you, things to keep in your garage, your storage space, your safe room, like Daisy has, things that you need on hand, like maybe solar generators or portable generators, or even food kits. Like you may need an emergency food kit or ways of treating water so that it is drinkable in an emergency. All of those things, those are just tiny bits of examples of the kinds of things that you can get at 4patriots.com/chicks. Plus, you get free shipping on any order over $97. So visit 4patriots.com/chicks, see the week's discounts and deals before they're gone, and get yourself that free shipping on any order over $97. Do it. You're going to be amazed at some of the stuff that they have there. Like I was like, I did not even know that existed. And
yeah,
yet it does.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah. All right. So let's get back to it. And this is the fight.
I want to laugh at why Nikki Haley didn't answer your question, which is about looking at families in the eye. In the last debate, she made fun of me for actually joining TikTok while her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time. So you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your voice.
Your adult daughter. The next generation of Americans are using it. And that's actually the point. You have her supporters propping her up. That's fine. Here's the truth. The easy answer is actually to say that we're just going to ban one app. We got to go further. We have to ban any U.S. company actually transferring U.S. data to the Chinese. Here's a story most people don't know. Airbnb hands over U.S. user data to the CCP. Now, that's a U.S.-owned company. So this is the problem when you have Republicans that temporarily go the way the winds blow, and now it's popular to talk tough on China. When she was UN ambassador, called them literally, her words, not mine, our great friend. You can't be fair weather fans of the right policy. Get to the root cause. Even U.S. companies in Silicon Valley are regularly doing it. Cut the virtue signaling. The fact of the matter is Democrats are on TikTok today. The only person, one of the few people who is putting up content the way the actual algorithms work, speaking for pro-Israel views or others, is
Ambassador
me.
Haley,
more Republicans will join it. But stop U.S. companies from turning over data to Chinese companies. That's the real answer, not the virtue
Kristen
signal.
don't get to respond to personal attacks, but you do.
Thank you very much. You know, when he talks about me praising China, he doesn't know the fact that the reason China was praised was because I negotiated with China and Russia the largest set of sanctions against North Korea in a generation. That is literally the reason North Korea stopped testing ballistic missiles. So I said China did good on their part. That was a negotiation you could never do.
Is what you said, Nikki. Those are your words, not mine. And so just own up to it.
You would never
can change
been
your
able to
mind.
get
That's
that
allowed.
negotiation
But don't
done.
lie to the people about what you've said or what you've done in
China
South Carolina.
My
You have
entire
brought them to South
career
Carolina.
at the
Ron is
United
right about
Nations.
that.
Every day I fought China, and I did it
Look at the
by
actual
making sure
hard
no
facts.
one
You
could
brought them to
get
this
any
country.
agency heads in UN. I did it by making sure that we called them out on human rights. I did it by making sure that we held them accountable on everything that they did. That's the reason we got out of the Human Rights Council. That's the reason we called them out. And there's not been a day I haven't
Nikki,
stopped
Senator
moving
Scott,
through.
it is your turn.
Policy
Mr.
experience with the millions you
Ramaswamy.
made afterwards.
Everybody else is hanging on to the rules here, Mr. Ramaswamy. Senator Scott.
Woo!
And then Tim Scott comes in. He's like, I'm so happy.
I have a girlfriend.
I'm so happy, you guys. Okay, so yeah, that whole exchange was so uncomfortable. And I think when I was most uncomfortable is when she started rolling her eyes. Like, dudes don't do that.
They're not eye rollers usually.
No, dudes don't do that. And so when you're and I know I'm going to get a lot of crap for this, but if you're playing in that sandbox with the dudes, don't do the eye rolling. Like, as a woman, you got to get in there and you got to fight like a dude. You can't just go in there and start eye rolling, because then that makes you automatically look weaker.
Although I will say Trump was really good at the eye rolling in the debates of back when he used to participate in them. His eye rolls were freaking epic. Do you remember with Hillary?
He looked exhausted, though. He didn't look weak. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, as a woman, it shows your weakness. And then they go, okay, now I know her weakness. Now I know what I'm going to do the next time to take her down. You just can't do that. You gotta stay poised, and you gotta because that's where they smell your weakness. You know what I mean? You just can't do. And you could tell she was visibly agitated and uncomfortable in that. And
she was hot. I mean, she was piping mad. She
was so mad. And I get it. I mean, I get it because he went after her daughter. I get it. But at the same time, in a leadership position, you cannot do that. You have to be calm. And this is why I couldn't do that kind of a job, because I would be pissed off all the time. I'd be swinging, I'd be throwing hands all the time. I just couldn't do it. But when you're in a leadership position, you have to remain calm and poised, and you can't roll your eyes. You can't do that kind of stuff, because then people, they make you, I guess you are perceived as a hysterical woman. This is why women get that. This is why women get more crap than men. I hate that, but it is what it is. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
do.
And so I hate that for her, but in that particular instance, when she was fighting with him, I could tell that, she was just uncomfortable, and I hated that for her. And a lot of people are calling her a warmonger, and I get it. And there's a part of me that I could tell that she just hates him personally. They cannot stand each other, which is why at the end of the debate, they did not talk to one another. I mean,
we'll show that too. We'll show how
there's so much
super uncomfortable.
There is so much hate there. Going into the debate, they just, it's a good thing they put Ron in between them because damn.
Well, it's interesting because I'm seeing some mixed reviews just in terms of who won the debate. I'm seeing some outlets say it was a clear victory by DeSantis. I'm seeing others that think she was the strongest. So it's definitely, they seem to be the top two without question. And it's interesting because it seems, at least from the clips that are going viral, that Vivek had the most virality. Like he's the one being talked about the most. I thought, just based on the clips that I saw and that we'll share, I was super irritated by him. Even though I agreed with a lot of things that he said, I was like, he's such a dick. Like, why is he being such an awful, huge jerk to everybody? He was so attacky. And I was so conflicted because I did think what he was saying a lot of the time was right. But I was just like, stop being such an a-hole.
Right. I think he came out swinging, and I think Nikki came out swinging. And I think you had Ron in the middle who was just sort of like calm. There was a lot of calm, which is why, like, at the top of Daily Mail today, I think they pretty much made him sort of the winner of the debate, because he was probably the most poised and the most calm and the most leadery of the night. Because, you know, again, you go back to, who do I want? If I had to pick one of the people on the stage, because obviously Trump's not there, if I had to pick one of the people on the stage to lead me into battle or something, it probably would be Ron DeSantis, because he was the calmest and the most poised, and wasn't shrieking at somebody else. Right. And wasn't on the offense or the defense. He just was, he was just like, okay, I got this. Like, it's fine. We're good. Whereas the other ones were like going and swinging at other people, which, I guess if you feel like that's a good strategy, okay, but it could come off as shrill, or it could come off as just combative, as I don't know. Nothing that Vivek said was wrong. Maybe not nothing, but I mean, 90% of what he said was true, was accurate, but it doesn't make him a good president. You know what I mean? Right. I don't think he's going to win. I just think that he's a smart guy, and a lot of what he says is true. Okay, but he's not going to win, you guys.
Well, let's hear what he has to say about Israel.
Mr. Ramaswamy, any daylight between you and the candidates we just heard on this issue on what you would tell the Prime Minister?
Not in terms of what I would tell the Prime Minister, no. In fact, I would go one step further. The founding vision of Israel was based on the idea that they don't want to depend on anybody else's sympathy or direction in defending themselves. So what I would tell Bibi is that Israel has the right and the responsibility to defend itself. I would tell him to smoke those terrorists on his southern border, and then I'll tell him, as President of the United States, I'll be smoking the terrorists on our southern border. That's his responsibility. This is our responsibility. That's how we move forward. But I want to be careful to avoid making the mistakes from the neocon establishment of the past. Corrupt politicians in both parties spent trillions, killed millions, made billions for themselves in places like Iraq and Afghanistan, fighting wars that sent thousands of our sons and daughters, people my age, to die in wars that did not advance anyone's interests, adding $7 trillion to our national debt. And Joe Biden sold off our foreign policy. Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, got a $5 million bribe from Ukraine. That's why we're sending $200 billion back to that same country. The fact of the matter is the Republican Party is not that much better. You have the likes of Nikki Haley, who stepped down from her time at the UN. Bankrupt or in debt was her family. Then she becomes a military contractor. She joins the board of Boeing and otherwise, and is now a multimillionaire. So I think that that's wrong when Republicans do it or Democrats do it. That's the choice we face. Do you want a leader from a different generation who's going to put this country first, or do you want Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels?
All right, Mr.
In which case, we've got two of them on stage.
Ramaswamy,
Oh my God. Did you hear the part about, and in this case, you've got two of them on the stage tonight, then the 3-inch heels? Did you hear that dig
Ron
on
DeSantis
too?
Ron DeSantis is wearing heels.
I mean, he was absolutely rabid last night.
Brutal. He was brutal last night. I mean, I gotta give it to him though. He came out swinging. And Ron was just like, damn, Vivek, come on. Come on, man.
I thought this fight was just with you and Nikki. Why you gotta bring me into this?
I thought it was you and the broad. Why me too, man? Ed too? At 2, Vivek? Come on.
And that's the thing. Like he says the thing, it's this attitude of his, which makes me understand completely why this is Candace Owens' pick. They are the same person. Yeah. You know what I mean? They are the same. It makes total sense to me why she's such a huge fan of his.
Yeah, it's like, because he is brutal, man. It's like nobody's off limits. It's like he's just gonna go out. So he comes in all like sweet, and you think, oh, this guy's really nice. I really like him. Look, he probably bakes too. Oh, damn, he hit me. Oh God, right with the right hook. Crap. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. It's brutal. Absolutely.
And here's
brutal.
where I'm conflicted is that when he would say like, and you're just about to hear it, like his position on Ukraine, he will say the things and I will be like, that makes perfect sense. And I completely agree with that. And then Nikki Haley will say her things and I will be like, that too makes perfect sense. And I completely agree with that because I don't think I've been shy about it. I don't know how often I've said it, but I am very conflicted about how we deal with Ukraine. There's the part of me that's like, screw that. I'm sick of sending them help. Europe needs to step in. There's the other part of me that here's what Nikki Haley says. Here's what Condoleezza Rice says, which by the way, I didn't even tell you guys that I'm such a nerd that I joined a webinar that she gave like last week. And because I really wanted to hear from Condi about Ukraine, Israel, all of it. And she's so freaking smart. And she made this point that I thought was so well taken in that every time America has hesitated and stepped back away from assisting countries in moments of crisis and war, we end up getting pulled in at a later date and paying worse penalties for it, higher costs for it.
However, I will interject. I do have very strong feelings about the Ukrainian conflict or whatever, the war. I will tell you, the thing that I will dig my heels in on is I don't mind giving them military support. Mm-hmm. I don't mind my tax dollars, my hard-earned money going towards that. What I do, what I will dispute to my very core is when we start rebuilding stuff and when we start giving money for Ukrainian pensions and when we're going in there after the fact and we're rebuilding their roads and their infrastructure when our country is freaking falling apart.
Totally agree.
No, I'm like vehemently opposed to all of that crap because it's just that. It's crap. We don't need to rebuild shit for them. We don't. We don't need to rebuild their country because our country's falling apart and we're broke. So military support is fine. Like I'm fine with helping a little bit of that for them to help with the military effort. But beyond that, no.
Right. But I mean, and they're just talking about just Ukrainian military support, continued Ukraine military support. But even on that, I do find myself kind of conflicted. So here again, once again, are Vivek and Nikki kind of going at it about how to deal with Ukraine.
Thank you.
Don't buy it. And I'd like the likes of the sharpest of the war hawks on Ukraine, Nikki Haley, to have some accountability and answer. Do you want to use U.S. taxpayer money to fund the banning of Christians? That is actually what's happening. They're using the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. They have banned them. The Ukrainian parliament just did this last week, supported by our dollars. And I think you owe it to the American people, Nikki, to at least this
Mr.
one time
Ramaswamy,
condemn.
thank you. That's time.
At least to
Mr.
condemn
Ramaswamy,
their banning of Christians.
Mr. Ramaswamy,
or else
thank
we're
you.
talking out of both sides.
Mr. Ramaswamy, thank you. We asked the questions. Ambassador Haley,
well, she deserves to
what is your take on more funding for Ukraine?
I am telling you, Putin and President Xi are salivating at the thought that someone like that could become president. They would love to see
that. The fact of the matter is she doesn't answer
the question. So this is what I will tell you.
We're driving Russia into China's hands because of these foolish policies.
You had your time to talk. The ambassador has the floor.
Ambassador, thank you. The first thing I'll tell you is we all remember what that thug did when he invaded Ukraine. We all know that 500,000 people have died because of Putin. And here is a freedom-loving, pro-American country that is fighting for its survival and its democracy. Really? No, I don't think we should give them cash. I think we should give them the equipment and the ammunition to win. And I'll tell you, if Biden had done it when they first asked for it, this war would be over. But let's also remember this. When you left Afghanistan in shambles and left them with a ton of weapons and money, it's not that we left, it's how we left. When you look at Ukraine, don't think for a second, now everybody wants to move away from Ukraine. They'll want to move away from Israel a year from now. America can never be so arrogant to think we don't need friends. After 9/11, we needed a lot of friends. Now is the time to get partnerships. This unholy alliance between Russia, Ukraine, and China is real. There is a reason the Taiwanese want us to support the Ukrainians. It's because they know that China is coming after them next. There is a reason Ukrainians want us to support Israelis, because they know that if Iran wins, Russia wins.
Ambassador,
we have to see the combination of the three.
Ambassador, thank you. Governor.
Yeah, but I still am not clear about the money.
Well, she's saying no money, just equipment.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't really heard, like, I need to hear like specific amounts and what it's going to be used for. And no one in government has been clear about that. No one.
Yeah, they've just been saying money amounts. They've been saying dollar amounts, which has been very, very off-putting.
It's been very off-putting. And it's like they just keep throwing hundreds of billions of dollars to this country that is just, and when she says it's pro-America, are they pro-America? I mean, this is the thing. I question that. Are they? Because is Zelensky, are they pro-America? I don't know.
They're pro-American money, that's for sure.
They're exactly. They're pro taking my money, but I don't think they're not. Didn't he just cancel an election? Didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about canceling the election because he's like, well, I mean, this is wartime and it's really difficult right now to have an election. And that's sending a lot of like people's danders up on that, for sure.
I feel like that's not very freedom-ish.
It's not very democratic. That's
not
for
very
sure.
American. Right.
That is for sure.
Yeah.
Last sort of topic of the debate that we'll get to here. And then obviously, if you guys haven't watched it and you want to, you can go and watch the whole thing if you'd like. But there's obviously been all of these ridiculous college kids all over campuses, all over the country being stupid. And the question is, what do we do with them? Is it a freedom of speech issue where we just let them speak out and say all the terrible things and essentially side with terrorists and incite more terrorism? Or is it that we have to put a stop to that? And two very, very interesting and differing perspectives on that came from Vivek and Ron DeSantis. And so this is one of those things, again, where I was like, Vivek is saying some things that I totally agree with. And then Ron DeSantis would say the opposite. And I'd be like, but I also agree with that. And so you guys hear them both and decide what you think.
Relevance. These kids, they have no idea what the heck they're even talking about when they're siding with Hamas over Israel. They are fools. But I also want to caution here, if we go the direction of Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley, with whom I respectfully disagree on this issue, pro-censorship, telling student groups to disband, mark my words, soon they will say if you question a vaccine and its side effects, you're a bioterrorist. Soon they will say that if you show up at a school board meeting, you're a domestic terrorist. Soon if they say that J6 prisoners should be released, you're an insurrectionist terrorist. So that's where this road ends. We don't quash this with censorship because that creates a worse underbelly. We quell it through leadership by calling it out. These university administrators have lost their way, and we need leadership at the top in the United States of America that restores our founding values and that has no place for this kind of anti-Semitic hate. That's where I stand while respecting our Constitution.
Your time is out.
I mean, it's an interesting point that he's making. It's very interesting. So
and
then
there's nothing you can disagree with what he's saying right there, except it's all very idealistic. We need leadership to make the administrators see the light somehow, which is not a thing. That's
like, how
happening.
in the hell do you do that? I mean, how do you do that? I think it's like you almost need to go directly to its core and, I don't know, just stop letting these people in. Like,
well,
you know what I
mean? There's a difference between, having the freedom to say things and protest and have an opinion and a voice, and also then siding with terrorists and essentially helping terrorists accomplish their goals. So, and that's why, I feel conflicted about that. And Ron DeSantis is handling it in a completely different way. Here's his take.
Senator Scott, let me get DeSantis here. What do you think about what he just said?
I was the first presidential candidate to say, if you are here on a student visa as a foreign national, you're making common cause with Hamas, I'm canceling your visa and I'm sending you home. No questions asked. Second, I have friends here in Florida who Their kids do not feel safe even going to university campus at all outside of the state of Florida. You have Jewish students fleeing for their lives at Cooper Union. Joe Biden should have the Department of Justice on these college campuses and holding the universities accountable for civil rights violations. When you should not have money going to these places. I already acted in Florida. We had a group, Students for Justice of Palestine. They said they are common cause with Hamas. They said, we're not just in solidarity, this is what we are. We deactivated them. We're not going to use state tax dollars to fund jihad. No way. And what is Biden doing? Not only is he not helping the Jewish students who are being persecuted, he is launching an initiative to combat so-called Islamophobia. No, it's the anti-Semitism that's spiraling out of control. Right. That is what we have to confront. And as president, I can tell you this, we are not going to stand for this on college campuses any longer. All right.
I mean, this
Very
is the
different
thing.
approach.
It is a different approach, but I mean, he's kind of right. Like, I mean, if they're on a visa, it's kind of like we said this on the show, like a week ago, whatever. It's if they're on a visa, they don't have to stay here, so you can go now.
Yeah, they don't have a right to be here to spew terroristic viewpoints.
I mean, it's one thing if they're, American citizen kids who are just freaking idiots.
Right.
That's a whole different story. We have to deal with that in a whole different way, right? But if they're on a visa, bye.
Right.
I don't know why
he's taken the steps to do that. And I think his point is good about funding those groups. So if you're at a public university getting public funds and you're setting up these groups that are pro-terror, then no, I don't think taxpayers should be on the hook for giving these kids money to support terrorism. No,
why is this hard? Not. This isn't hard. This isn't brain surgery. It's like you see a problem, you solve the problem. This is a pretty easy problem to solve. Just cut them off. Send them back. Bye. Go
and
back
I
to
do
your
think
crappy country.
You draw the line at literally being able to side with terrorists. So like if you're waving an ISIS flag, that should be a part of speech that maybe not that should not be allowed on a college campus.
I just don't think that
crazy.
That should be a hard decision to make. And then furthermore, close the border. Why is that hard?
We got some border stuff to talk about.
The president should have done that a couple years ago, if not just a year ago, when the problem got completely out of control. And we've been seeing, and in the past 6 months, it's gotten really out of control. So that should have been done. Oh my God. Months ago.
Yeah.
And it's not been done.
With the freedom of speech thing, you're talking about literally calling for the death of and threatening the death of Jewish people everywhere. When you're spouting you're from the river to the sea, when you are inciting violence and terror and death on a whole group of other students. That is not okay. And that shouldn't be a question. That shouldn't be a free speech question. That's just not okay. Like that should not be allowed. And it isn't allowed. I don't think you're allowed anywhere to just go out and say, I want to kill everybody. Like you don't get to do that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You guys, if you have not yet seen After Death, this is just your friendly reminder that you can still get tickets online at angel.com/chicks. You can get your tickets there if you need them for free. If you are a person who cannot afford to see this movie in the theater, but you would really like to, their whole Pay It Forward program allows you to get tickets, claim tickets for free. If you are a person who saw the movie, loved the movie, and would like to help pay for somebody, you can also go to that same website, angel.com/chicks, or you can just get yourself your tickets, right? You can just get your tickets there, go see it at your local theater. You're not going to be sorry. It's an amazing documentary that really looks at several different people's death experiences. Like they were, heart activity, brain activity, dunzo, cardiac arrest, you name it. They were officially dead. And they had amazing experiences to share with you. It's going to blow you away. Angel.com/chicks. Buddha-cha1. Thank you. Says, love you, ladies. Instead of whack segments, how about Daisy's day? It can be recent fun stories and things happening in her day.
We're going to get to that. I'm going to do something different every single day. Today, I have something for you guys. It's just going to be a little tidbit, but it will be something like different, but nice every day. It's going to be something positive every single day. No more whack. something positive every day.
Because for real, the whole show is whack. Let's face it.
We just have to have some positivity. So we're going to start with that today. It'll be exciting.
Alexander, thank you. She says, if Nikki allows her feelings to get in the way and becomes president, we are doomed. And that's coming from a biological woman myself. And Leah, thank you. Leah says, did you hear about the AP, Reuters, CNN, and New York Times stringers? I don't know what stringers are, that somehow arrived in time to photograph what Hamas was doing on October 7th. They did nothing to help the victims or warn the IDF. I did. But so stringer, I think she means like, is it reporters or like they're, I don't know what that, I don't know.
It was the AP and somebody else, and
Reuters,
they were there.
And then New York Times.
I mean,
they were there immediately and were able to capture on camera the terrorists literally crossing into Israel.
Right.
Like what the hell?
And I thought it was Hamas who had videotaped and sent that and then like gave that footage to journalists. And then what we're finding out now, or at least we're seeing from people like Pam Geller and like DC Drano, and it's like funneling to other people, is it was like AP and other outlets.
All the ones that she just listed. Yeah.
I mean, what in the world, who were actually filming and taking pictures of all of that? What is going on? Like they need to be held. Somebody needs to answer for that. They all need to answer for that.
Super weird. I mean, that story was going around on Twitter yesterday, and I was like, that is a real term. Okay, stringers equals freelance reporters with a relationship with a media outlet. Ooh, that is interesting. Thank you, Ivy. Thank you for that definition. I've never heard that term before.
And so they're watching this happen, allegedly watching all of this happen, and they did nothing. They did
except
nothing.
Document it. And so the question isn't, should journalists get into the middle of a war? Obviously, for their own safety, they probably shouldn't. But why did they know in advance to be there? Like, and why? That's the big question, because, journalists aren't really, they're there to document, but to be there in advance and then document it before and while it's happening
in real time.
That is sus.
It's not just sus. It's disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, that's just not,
it's inexcusable and disgusting, and they need to answer for that.
It is weird.
Yeah.
One more thing about the debate. Well, a couple more things, but not of debate footage, except for the very end, because you saw the fighting, right? You saw Nikki and Vivek in particular. You know how the end, everybody glad hands, they shake hands and they make nice and it's fine. Not Nikki and Vivek. You will see them avoid each other like the freaking plague at the end of this. Look at this. And that's how it was. Like they did not.
It was kind of interesting seeing everybody's families, though. Like I loved watching the end and seeing how everybody, like Vivek's family is precious. His kids.
Oh my God, so cute,
so freaking cute. And Ron DeSantis's family is precious. I mean, everybody has cute families. I mean, even Chris Christie's wife looked very nice, and everybody looked really nice. I like seeing everybody's family, right? I mean, because they're people and they have families, and I like seeing everybody's families because
it humanizes them a little after.
It does humanize them, right?
Yeah.
Everybody. I didn't see Nikki's family though, because I think her husband is overseas right now. I think I
saw people coming up on the stage and hugging her. I'm assuming it's a daughter, maybe, or
I think her mom and dad were there. If I'm not mistaken, I think so. Yeah. But yeah, I think her husband is actually, I think he's overseas. God bless her. But anyways, so it's really nice seeing, I love that. I totally do. Cause then you're like, oh, look, they're people, they're not just people screaming at each other on a stage,
I'm rethinking whether we want to see reaction. Like, do we care about other people's reaction to the debate, or should we move on?
Maybe a little bit, maybe just a couple.
Okay.
I mean, I'm always interested in what this guy has to say. Right.
Okay. Well, a couple of people thought, and again, if you look at the Daily Mail right now, everybody's like, Ron DeSantis won that handily. Like, he was absolutely the king of the show. And then there's other people who were really, really crazy about Nikki's performance. And then people who also got their digs in at Vivek. Here's Van Jones's take.
Gave a master class on foreign policy. I thought she gave a master class on abortion. If you just took those two clips, you could teach a course on political communication, conversation. She's a force. She's a force. I also thought, Israel was mentioned. I thought the Republican Party took advantage of some of the disarray in the Democratic Party and stuck up for Jewish kids who are scared to leave their dorm rooms and all that kind of stuff, and came very, very forcefully saying that Jewish kids shouldn't be scared to leave their dorm rooms in this country. And I thought that was an important development in the conversation overall.
I thought it's nice that he's doing that. I mean, they have to talk about our debates because they're not going to have any.
Right.
So that's nice that they're spending time talking about our side of the aisle.
It's true.
Right.
Scott Jennings also thought very highly of Nikki, and because I think he includes in this clip what she said about abortion. Now, she and Ron DeSantis not eye to eye on that at all. Abortion clearly, and if we look at Tuesday's results, abortion is it's a losing topic for Republicans. It just is.
Yeah.
And so the fact, and I don't blame anybody who's staunchly pro-life for their positions at all. Ron DeSantis is one of those people. And so he delivers results based on those positions. Nikki Haley is a little more, she's pro-life, but moderately so.
She's fluid. She's very fluid on it.
She's pro-life fluid.
She is pro-life fluid. Right.
But it may actually end up being a strategy that's more effective. I don't know. Here's Scott Jennings on his take, and then the clip of her and what she said about pro-life issues.
Haley, by the way, just on the merits, had a really strong night, abortion and otherwise. I thought DeSantis had a really strong open. I thought, so if you agree that it's gotten down to those two as the real possibles here, they both were very good. There were some great answers tonight on DeSantis, was assailing Biden over some of his response on Israel. I thought Haley taking on Ramaswamy when by the way, Ramaswamy is he's like the guy running the ship in Spaceballs. He went right to ludicrous speed right out of the gate.
Yeah, but people like that, Scott.
Do they like it? He's at like 4%.
The empirical evidence says otherwise. In the realm of Mel Brooks movies, Spaceballs was not maybe the finest, but I like his Spaceballs. Let's show the Nikki Haley what she said about abortion tonight.
Somehow I wasn't doing
Be honest with the American people. This is a personal issue for every woman and every man. I am unapologetically pro-life, not because the Republican Party tells me to be, but because my husband Michael was adopted and I had trouble having both of my children. So I'm surrounded by blessings. Having said that, when you look post-Roe, a wrong was made right. They took it out of the hands of unelected justices and they put it in the hands of the people. And now we're seeing states vote. And what I'll tell you is, as much as I'm pro-life, I don't judge anyone for being pro-choice, and I don't want them to judge
to judge me is
right. Yeah,
I mean,
and she got some like people in the audience were like, oh no,
really?
There was a little there was some. Not, I don't know if I'd call it groaning, but there was some response, when she was talking about I don't judge people for being pro-choice kind of a thing. It was interesting. It was kind of interesting to watch that. But there are people who are Republican and pro-choice. They exist. Out there, So, I mean, she could pull some of those people. Do I think she's going to win? No, I don't think she's going to win the presidential nomination either. I don't, but I do think that I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I think that that's probably a hill to die on. If you're, if there's one thing that I think that we should believe in, it's being pro-life. But, if she wants to try to cater to those people who are pro-choice, that
I think maybe her point, and I don't mean to speak for her, but I'm assuming just based on the results that we've seen across the country, not just even in this election, but on any referendum that's been about abortion since Roe got overturned and the decision did go back to the states, is that states are now in control of this. And what's problematic for Republicans is when they run on restricting abortion in their whatever states they're running in. That seems to be a losing proposition for them.
Right.
And so perhaps her point, and I don't know, I'm again not trying to speak for her, but perhaps her point is, listen, states are deciding this for themselves. We at a federal level need to back the freak off and not make it a campaign issue. And whether you think that's right or wrong, it's up to you.
And one of the things that, I think DeSantis, I'll paraphrase, but he said it and it makes some sense, is when some of these, these state legislatures come out with these referendums or whatever, the Democrats will have these referendums on abortion, and then Republicans don't have ones that counter them. We just don't come in with anything that counters it. We're just like, we're pro-life, but we don't have anything that counters a lot of this legislation. They'll come out with something and then they'll pass it. And we're like, well, why did we lose? It's because we're not coming out with any counter legislation. We have to do that. And so we're sucking hard at that kind of stuff when it comes to abortion. You have to counter with something. You have to write legislation that counters the referendums that they're writing. So we're not doing that. We're just not being effective in legislating. And so that's kind of on us too. So, there's that. We just, you can't just sit back and be like, hi, I'm pro-life, and think that that's you have to get in there and do the work and come with, armed with actual written legislation to counter what they're doing. And they're in there in the trenches doing it because they want so badly to kill all the babies.
Well, and it's not working. What we do isn't working. When we say Democrats want to be able to kill a 9-month-old fetus, that fear tactic, if you will, is not registering with people. Because all they hear from Republicans is they're taking my rights away. They're sending us back 50 years or what. That's all they hear. And so I don't know if it's we just have a really sucktastic message or what, but it's a losing topic for Republicans right now. It just is. Okay, last one, and then we'll move on to other things. And this is Rachel Maddow talking about Vivek. She thinks every single person on that stage hates him. And here's what she said.
Of tonight's debate, back for an encore from the last debate, was just the deep, palpable, withering disgust that candidate Vivek Ramaswamy seems to inspire from his fellow candidates. He makes them say things you can't imagine they've ever said before in their lives. He makes them make facial expressions on the stage that you're quite sure they don't know they're making in public. He really brings out a side of them that makes news, frankly.
It's true. She's not wrong.
I think she's wrong. I disagree with her. I think it's just Nikki. I don't think everybody else hates him with all those words that she just said, that huge word salad, that
palpable, withering disgust.
Right. The Ivy League word salad she just conjured up. Good Lord. Take it easy.
I thought it was a good little salad.
Take it easy, Rachel. Calm down. No, I don't think everybody hates him with that level of hatred that she just came up with. I think Nikki does. Nikki hates him, but the rest of the people on that stage know that it's politics, baby. That's what you do. You come out swinging, and everybody says all the horrible things, and they talk about, So remember when Trump was going at Ted Cruz, and he was talking about fathers getting killed, and your wife is ugly, and people remember they did this stuff, and now they're friends. This is what they do. They yell at each other. They say awful things. People are horrible. And then a month later, it's you want to go shopping? You want to have lunch? It's it's kind of like when you and your sister fight and you say awful things and you beat the crap out of each other. And then you go have lunch a week later. This is what you do. This is politics. I think Nikki has a general disdain for this guy, and she'll probably never get over it. But the rest of the guys on the stage, I think they're cool. I think they're.
I would not be looking for a Nikki Vivek ticket of any kind.
No, never going to happen. Not going to happen.
We do need to address the fact that Republicans are on a big fat losing streak, and whatever you want to attribute that to, there's plenty of people out there that attribute it to Trump, and many people that will resist that. But there are certain things that are just stats that we'll get to, and I hate to do this, but I gotta say, Jessica Tarlov has every reason to gloat.
He was trying to say on Monday.
So abortion and cash, Jessica, is that the story of last night?
And pot.
And pot. Yeah. Abortion, cash,
don't
and pot.
forget about our marijuana. No, that's not the only story. The main headline is Democrats continue to overperform in the Biden era. It's just, you can't dispute it. It is blowing the polling out of the water. Republicans haven't really had a good showing since Trump won in 2016. And they really, and I know that there are a lot of them, deeply conservative people that are coming around to the idea that Donald Trump loses himself elections and he loses the people that he endorses.
Well,
elections.
they took the House in 2000, right?
2020.
20, yeah.
Yeah, by 3 seats. So remember it was 2022.
16.
That was your red wave. Remember when you said, I'm getting a 40-seat wave, and then you got 3 seats and a George Santos?
Oh, don't remind me.
Okay. Get that in there. Should have just get that right in there for Jesse. Yeah. Remember the red wave? Remember the red wave, everybody?
Yeah. I remember a lot of people in here were absolutely convinced of it. Who was it?
We're just going to ride that wave. And then it was like, wah, 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 wah. Sucked you in on that one. Everybody's like, man, 2024 is going to be a bloodbath.
Look at Biden's poll numbers. Okay. Here's some numbers that we should really be looking at.
Yeah.
Because we have lost consistently since 2016. Literally every single election, we are losing. Losing.
Right.
And to my point earlier about the fact that Trump simply will never accept any blame for anything ever, ever, ever. Here is a perfect example, you guys. This is unbelievable. So this tweet of his was a few days before the election. And he was a big proponent of Daniel Cameron of Kentucky, who went against Bashir and lost. And so ahead of the election, Donald Trump tweeted, wow, Daniel Cameron of Kentucky has made a huge surge now that they see my strong endorsement and the fact that he's not really a McConnell guy. They only try to label him that because he comes from the great state of Kentucky. Anyway, go Daniel. Great future for you and your state. You will bring it to new levels of success and I will help you. So that was before. And then after the loss, he said this. Daniel Cameron lost because he couldn't alleviate the stench of Mitch McConnell. I told him early, that's a big burden to overcome. McConnell and Romney are kryptonite for Republican candidates. I moved him up 25 points, but the McConnell relationship was too much to bear. Tate Reeves, on the other hand, surged to a win for governor in Mississippi after my involvement. Congratulations to Tate. I mean, you guys. Can you not see what I'm talking about?
No, because in the comments, we're getting everybody saying, well, they cheat. It's not.
Oh my God.
You guys, it's not that. I mean, it's not. It's turnout. It's turnout. turnout. That's what it is. It's what it is.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why. Can he just not accept, just don't actually opposite your words because that's makes you look crazy. That's all. Just say, wow, it really sucks. I mean, or just own the fact that maybe some of your candidates that you endorse, people don't like them. People don't like you endorsing them. We're losing over and over again. That's the main point. And it's not just about cheating, you guys.
No,
it's not. You
not.
can't just say every time we lose, oh, well, it was rigged. I mean, you can't say that. It's just, I'm so sick and tired of losing.
Right.
So
Listen,
sick and tired of it.
I mean, we can recognize the fact that there are some eating Che or whatever.
Nicely done.
Thanks. We can recognize the fact there's a little bit of that. Okay. But that's not the reason that we're losing miserably. And we have been over the past couple years, which a lot of it is just complete complacency on our part. There are so many people out there that are just like, I'm just done. I'm done with this party. I'm over it. I mean, it just is. It is. I mean, I see it here in Texas. It happens. People just aren't voting. There are numbers. I have data. It just is what it is. There's data to back that up. I have receipts.
And there's just way too many people who are an only or a never. Right. And that's just never going to make us win. If you are an only Trumper or a never Trumper, you are screwing up this country, period. Because if Trump is the nominee, everybody needs to turn out and vote for him. I don't care if you have to hold your nose. I don't care if you have to just cry while you do it. You have to do it. And the problem is that if he is so hated that people just are like, I can't bring myself to, I'm going to stay home. That's the problem.
Yeah, but
we got to get everybody out.
But what if he's not the nominee? Then what happens to all the people that are only Trumpers? What happens?
It's the same. They have to turn out.
For some reason, what if DeSantis becomes the nominee? Are all y'all that are so in the bag for Trump, are you just going to be like, I'm not going to vote for him? Then what
A lot of them are because they say DeSantis is the swamp. which is freaking nutballs.
But see, that's the thing. Like, well, then we'll lose too. I mean, this is what's so asign about our party. It's just crazy.
It's completely asinine. It makes me insane, because then they're like, well, we deserve to lose then. If DeSantis is the guy, we deserve to lose. And so they're throwing away the country because of their loyalty that Trump demands of them. And they're like, yes, sir, I will be loyal to you, because I can't fathom the reasons for it, but they are, and they will not vote for anybody else. And that's what will guarantee a Biden victory.
If it's Haley, what if it's Haley? What if for some reason, I don't know. I have no idea who's, I mean, listen, when are the primaries? The primaries are coming up when?
They start, I mean, the big ones are in March, but
March, right,
yeah.
right, March. So, what if for some reason, I don't know, it's like a crapshoot at this point. I mean, everybody thinks Trump is in the bag, but I don't know. You never know. People may surprise us.
And then what if he's convicted? And then, you know what I mean? And so
are we never say never? We don't know. You never say never. It could, God only knows. It could be Haley, you guys. What if Nikki Haley gets the bid, right? I mean,
and I honestly cannot remember. I can't remember voting for somebody that I was super stoked about.
Me neither.
I haven't yet done that.
I know.
Like,
I'm
I
the
didn't
same
do it
way.
with Trump. I was like, all right.
Well,
now I was super happy with his presidency.
I take
super
that back.
happy.
I take that back. I remember like when George W. ran initially. I was pretty young, but I remember voting for him and thinking, okay, well, he's pretty cool. Like first time.
I've never been like stoked about a candidate.
I wasn't stoked, but I was like, all right, I like him. But I remember voting for him. Gosh, I can't remember what the year was, but I remember voting for him initially thinking he's a pretty cool guy. Because I saw him speak at a local thing in Georgia when he was running the first time. And I went to like some community center, seeing him in person at a town hall. And I was like, he was pretty cool. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's like the last time I remember being somewhat excited about
But you still went and did it.
Oh yeah, I went and
even
did
when
it.
you weren't excited. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that people got to show up.
We got to show up. We got to, whoever it is, you got to show up. Yeah. And that's the problem. People aren't showing up. And then they're saying, oh, people are cheating. They're not cheating nearly as much as you think that they are. It's because people are not showing up to the damn polls.
It has to be overwhelming numbers. That's the whole way. And the Democrats have got their ground game.
Oh,
so
they
strong.
do, man. They are kicking our ass. They are so kicking our ass. And then we're like, oh my God, they're cheating. No, they're showing up and we're not.
Yeah. And Democrats win the Senate again, or both houses. And then there's going to be a packed court. And then we no longer have a Supreme Court
We're done.
to save us from ourselves. So if you're contributing to a Biden or a Democrat win, I will be 100% blaming you for all of that. I mean, because it will be if you're an only or a never, you are the problem.
And
you
it's crazy
because
because you look at the state of this country and it should be overwhelming. We should all be there, like grabbing every single family member that we have.
Yes.
It's insane. I mean, it should be in the bag for us. Just based
and the
on
whole idea of people saying you got to burn it down to build it back up again. We can't build it up again if we have a packed Supreme Court. That will be the end of this country.
Yeah, we're
the
done.
End. Anyway. All right. I promised people in my title that we would get to Mayorkas because it was unbelievable, the Senate hearing yesterday. These are pretty short for the most part, but there's a few clips of Mayorkas just absolutely floundering and sounding like a complete idiot once again, as he always does. The guy comes to these hearings so unprepared, and I cannot understand why he keeps doing this over and over again.
Because he can. Because it doesn't.
I guess
he doesn't have to be prepared. He just keeps getting paid, so he doesn't give a shit. What does he care? He's just like, whatever.
And
I
then
get a paycheck.
He gets all self-righteous. I'm so proud of our team. Whatever. Senator Hoeven was like, "Can you just give us some numbers here?" And he gets so frustrated. Check this out.
Secretary Mayorkas, how many people have entered the country illegally across our southern border since the Biden administration took office? A number.
Senator, it's over 6 million encounters at our southern border.
And how many of those 6 million are still in the country?
Senator, I can get you that information.
So, do you know?
Senator, I don't want to.
Would you provide us with a number of how many of those 6 million that crossed our border illegally are still in the country?
I would be pleased to provide you with any data that you request, Senator.
Of the 2.5 million that crossed our southern border illegally last year, how many of them remain in the country?
Again, Senator, I'd be very pleased to provide you with the data with respect to how many removals have been effected, how many voluntary removals, how many forced removals, how many expulsions, how many individuals.
But you came to the hearing today and you don't have those numbers?
Right,
You are the head of DHS, and you
God.
came to this hearing today
Cannot stand
without
him.
those numbers.
That is correct.
That is correct, he said.
That is correct. I'm completely unprepared. I'm a complete unprepared douche canoe. I don't have any of those numbers. It's like, that is correct.
God.
I'm
Oh
a
my
loser.
God.
I'm a loser. That is correct. I'm a loser.
That is correct.
Mhm. I'm a loser.
Hovind tried one more time, and it went like this.
Do you think that millions of people crossing our border illegally creates the risk of a terrorist attack in our country?
Senator, I think that the men and women of the Department of Homeland Security do an extraordinary job.
That's not
of
answering
ensuring
the
the safety and security.
That wasn't
of
the question I asked. I said,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that millions of people crossing our border illegally every year, 2.5 million last year, creates the risk of a terrorist with what's going on in the world? People coming from more than 100 different countries crossing here illegally. You don't even know how many of them are still here. You came here today without that information. Do you think that creates a risk of a terrorist attack in our country?
Senator, you mischaracterized my testimony. What I
Yes or
shared
no?
with-
Do you think that creates millions of people come here, are here illegally? We're not even talking about the gotaways. How many gotaways are in our country here illegally? Does that create the risk of a terrorist attack in our country?
Oh my God, just impeach this guy already. Just impeach. I'm so sick of this crap. Am I the only one? It's like, how many? I'm going to use all the words. How many hearings do we have to have before this guy doesn't have a job anymore? Seriously. If you guys did your job this poorly, you would have been fired years ago. It's like Office Space. What do you have to do? He's literally like gutting a fish on his desk. You remember that scene where he comes in, he's just gutting a fish. He's like, I don't give a shit anymore. I don't care.
And then he wants the window view, and he just tears down the side of his
tears
cube.
everything down. He's just like, whatever. And the bosses are like, what exactly are you doing here? Like, what are you doing? He's like, I just decided just gut a fish. I'm gonna take the rest of the day off. That's Mayorkas. That's what he's doing. Nobody cares. They just keep letting him work there. We're paying him Mac Daddy pension. Nobody cares. He just keeps doing it.
It's so easy. Like, the question is like a do you think question. No stats, no data. They're not asking numbers. They just said, hey, do you think by allowing 7 million illegals to come here, we might be at a risk of terror? Dude could just say, you know what? I really do. I wish things were different at the border. Boom. At least have the decency to not waste the time of the senators asking the questions. My God.
I mean, it's like the next hearing we have is going to be like, do you wear boxers or briefs?
Senator, I really believe that our border control people are just doing an outstanding job.
Outstanding job, Senator.
My God.
I cannot with this guy. Get rid of him.
I don't even know who this woman is, but she's just like, let me get this straight. You don't think that the border is a disaster? Listen to this.
God.
So the situation at the border, you're saying, is not a disaster.
That is correct.
It's fine, you guys. It's totally fine.
He is at this point. They're all punking us now. They're punking everybody. I think he's not even a real person at this point. He can't be. This is not. He can't be a real person.
He doesn't have. He is like a robot, right? Like he does not have the ability to have emotions, so he can't answer emotional questions. Oh my God! But leave it to Senator Kennedy to just sort of put it the way it needed to be put.
Here's what I think, Mr. Secretary. I think you're a smart guy. Now, there are only one or two things going on here. Either you're not qualified to manage a Costco food court, or you believe in open borders. And I think it's the latter.
Senator Kennedy, your time.
Oh my God, I love him.
I know.
At least he's saying it.
Right? He at least says the things that
he isn't qualified.
Add some levity.
And Costco has a food court. They actually have a food court. I'm seriously going to go to the Costco food court. They do? God, I'm all about that. That's right. They do. They have like pizza and stuff there, don't they?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God, that's right. It makes me want to go there today.
I know we're going really long, but I still have a whole other montage to get to, and we're going to get to it.
We're going long. We're going long, you guys. We're going long. Buckle in. Get some more coffee. Get boned.
Get boned.
Get boned, everybody.
Bruce Wayne, thank you very much. On Mayorkas, he says, Mayorkas, I come to work without my tools. And boy, ma, 2 times. Thank you. She says, today I turn 40. Thank you for the laughs. Happy birthday.
Happy
to
birthday.
you.
40s were awesome. 40s are the best.
50s, a little rough. Gotta say
50s,
it.
Yeah, 50s,
They're a little
they
rough.
kind of smack you upside the head with the menopause. It's like you just everything is a little bit different, but 40s were awesome.
40s were pretty cool.
Enjoy
It's
them.
true. It's
Yeah,
true.
good times.
All right. In the title or the headline of this video, I said protesters are ridiculous. Oh my God. We've got some man on the street video to show you from both the UK and the United States that is just going to make you want to tear your hair out. First, we'll start with UK and the people that are protesting in the hundreds of thousands there. Here's what they really think.
Sure, but I think Hamas are freedom fighters.
Wow. That's great. That's nice.
They're so peaceful.
Yes. Yes.
But here's what they really think.
Okay.
Hamas are, they're classed as a proscribed terrorist organization. Do you think the UK has made the wrong decision?
Of course. It's not Hamas the terrorist. It's America the terrorist. No, and Israel is terrorist, not Hamas.
In the UK, Hamas are a proscribed terrorist organization. Do you think the government has made the right or the wrong decision in doing that?
Well, it's controversial, but I think Hamas are freedom fighters.
On the 7th of October, when Hamas invaded Israel, what was your initial reaction to that?
Honestly, it showed signs. It was resistance against the occupation, against the Palestinians. Honestly, it was a beacon of hope for me. It was not. It was, to me, it was them fighting back and showing resistance.
Continued existence of Israel is a war crime.
When Hamas invaded Israel on the 7th of October, what was your initial reaction to that?
I don't believe they did, did they, Hamas?
I think so. Honestly, I think I need to be a bit more clued up on everything that's going on. So I feel like I'm not really qualified to answer that too well.
I mean, I'm not sure if I've seen anything that shows that that's actually happened or actually correct.
So in the UK, Hamas are regarded as a proscribed terrorist organisation officially. What do you think of that?
They are freedom fighters. They are not terrorists, as the media portrays them to be. They're fighting for the right to their land. It's their land. They have the right to self-defense, and they're not. They're not terrorists. They are absolutely not.
Okay, so the existence of Israel is a war crime.
Right.
Did you guys
That's what
hear
they
that?
think.
The existence of it. Okay. But listen,
it's just so stupid. Oh my God.
There's a lot of stupidity, but then there's also a lot of just madness. Those people are horrific. They're terrifying. They're evil. Yeah, they're completely vile and evil. It's like they're either stupid or they're evil or both.
It's unfortunately not any better here at home. Here's a similar protester man on the street interview right here in the U.S.
Where are you guys from?
We're from Youngstown, Ohio.
OH.
IO!
All right. Do you guys think Hamas is a terrorist organization?
They are a political organization. Certain countries such as Canada, the UK, the United States recognize them as terrorist organizations, but I think that one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter.
I think the biggest terrorist organization is the United States of America's military.
Okay.
And I think before we start pointing fingers at anybody else, we should really look at ourselves.
I live in New York, so do we live on stolen land here too?
Yeah,
we do. It's all a genocide that either was completed or
People
is
look
in
at
the
me.
works.
What's your favorite Palestinian saying? From the river to the sea, Palestine would be?
Free.
What would happen to all the Israelis?
They would use their second citizenship to whatever country they immigrated from, and they would go back.
But not everyone in Israel has second citizenship.
But everyone came from somebody that came from some heritage outside of the Middle East.
Like Yemen?
Like Yemen, yes, exactly.
So Jews could go back there?
Ethiopia,
All the Jews could go back to Ethiopia?
Not all of the Jews can go back to one specific place.
Well, Ethiopian Jews.
Wherever they came from.
What about Libyan Jews?
Okay, they can
Go back to Libya, right?
They could stay in Palestine if they honor it as Palestinian territory.
Do you feel bad about what happened on October 7th?
So I can condemn any act of violence that harms people, and I just would like to acknowledge the fact that context is important.
Right.
And when
Because they killed a bunch of people, like 1,400 people in one day. It's the largest killing since the Holocaust.
what?
It's the largest killing of Jews.
Oh, okay.
The largest killing of Jews since the Holocaust.
Since the Holocaust, yeah. Okay.
So you still want them to go back to Yemen, Jordan, like Lebanon, Syria?
People aren't educating themselves. They're just following a rhetoric that's been in a family that's pretty immoral and inhumane. But nobody wants to educate themselves. And I think if people picked up their phones and typed things into Google, we would have a different society. We'd have a much larger.
Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate it. Have a safe trip to Youngstown.
They're just following rhetoric.
They're following the rhetoric.
The rhetoric, you guys. They're just following it. If they just picked up the Google and just typed in the rhetoric. Oh my God. Why aren't they doing that?
Oh my God. You
Should do
guys.
that. You should pick up the Google. It's like, shout out to Youngstown, Ohio. What? Woo! Yeah.
And by the way, lest you think that there's any hope for Palestinians, the vast majority of them, to actually want to stop the fighting, to want to just have a two-state solution. Unfortunately, the kids are taught at a very young age, as we've talked about, to hate America, to hate Israel. This is just some scenes from a tiny tot little play, like a school play that these kids and Palestinian kids are taught to put on. And look at what they're doing here. They are literally just acting like terrorists and killing IDF soldiers. That's what they do for fun in their little kindergarten classes. That's what they're doing. I mean, it's horrendous. Horrendous.
Israel gave us everything that it could give us.
Yeah.
Horrendous.
Little itty bitty.
We'll finish off with it. This is a Arab Muslim Israeli trying to set the record straight about what it's like for Arab Muslims in Israel, because of course Israel is painted as this occupier and that they're ethnically cleansing Palestine. It's all nonsense, as we know. Here is an actual Israeli Arab Muslim to tell us all.
Israel gave us everything that it could give us, even though we were Arabs. And they're calling Israel an apartheid. They're calling Israel making ethnic genocide. And this point is actually like puzzling for me, because 25% of the Israeli population is actually Arabs. Most of them are Muslims. More than 20% are Muslims. I'm one of them, right? And the Arabs in Israel are getting like equal rights, right? Like they're citizens for everything, getting welfare, education, healthcare, anything that a Jewish citizen would get. So how can we call this an apartheid or committing ethnic genocide? I was born to a Bedouin family. Bedouins are nomadic Arabs. My mother is penniless and illiterate. She doesn't know reading and writing because her parents didn't believe that women have the right to go to school. They should be on the fields and herd the sheep. Israel, after it was founded, it forced all children to go to school. It's like mandatory. And it couldn't stand that there are girls who are not getting educated. If not Israel, I probably would be illiterate, penniless, herding sheep somewhere in Galilee, right? But I have electrical engineering degree. I have masters from Stanford University. And I have my rights to live my life the way that I wanted to live it.
For her.
Israel gave us everything that it could give us, even though we were Arabs. And people.
That's freaking awesome.
Right? So
yeah.
Those are the voices that need to get propped up, raised, amplified.
Totally.
Because, man, everyone is so freaking brainwashed.
Listen, not that there's anything wrong with herding sheep.
It's fine.
It's a fine career. It's a fine career if you want to do that. But if you want to be an electrical engineer, it's really nice to learn how to read and write too as a woman. Just saying.
Yes. All right. Now it is time for whatever it is that you're going to show us.
It's not, we're not doing whack anymore, but I saw this I'm just going to like give you guys something every day. I don't know what it's going to be, just whatever I want to give you. And today I want to give you this because it made me smile.
Oh my God.
I watched it like 14 times. It just made me smile. I just loved it so much. Wasn't that the greatest? Wasn't that the greatest, you guys?
I'll
give you some cow pictures too. But did that make you smile? It made me smile yesterday. You want to show it again? Can you show it one more time?
Oh, I removed it. I'm sorry.
She removed it.
I'm sorry, guys. But there will be like a daily dollop of Daisy Delight from henceforth and forthwith.
I like that. A daily dollop of Daisy Delight. Look at you with the alliteration. I love it.
It'll be a daily
A dollop of daisy. A dollop of daisy.
Dollop of delicious, delightful daisiness.
Just a dollop of daisy. I like that. A dollop of daisy, you guys. I don't know what it's going to be. It could just be a picture of Linus. I don't know, doing something.
It's going to be good, though. It's going to make us feel good.
It's a dollop of daisy. I like it. A dollop of daisy.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
So that was
right.
the first of several. So we'll see what happens every day. We'll see. Okay.
And, there's still always fun talks, right? Like that's also a good way to like close out what can sometimes be a very depressing state of the world. And so what's also great about talks is that they are sponsored by our great friends at mypillow.com/chicks, where right now you can get super duper duper sales on the very best product, in my view, that they have. And that is their towels. 6-piece towel sets, less than $30 right now when you go to mypillow.com/chicks. Use code chicks. You'll also get discounts on all kinds of other amazing MyPillow products. We will start off with something that this fellow learned about Texas. He moved from California to Texas, and he has learned a thing that I thought that you would appreciate.
Here we go.
Another thing that I learned from living here in Texas, especially coming from California, is that California women would definitely beat Texas women in a fight. And the reason is because a lot of women in California are actually men.
I was like, wait a second. What?
I know. I could see you like, oh, put him up. Put him up.
I don't think so. I don't think that's accurate, dude. Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Now, I don't know if this is legit. If it is, it's freaking amazing. But you've seen those buttons that dogs are trained to press on the ground to help them communicate with humans in English. So Bunny the dog is like the most famous one that like really has an incredible vocabulary and just has like buttons absolutely everywhere and has like full on conversations with her people. This one is pretty amazing. If it's true, if it's really accurate, it's impressive. Check it out.
Change diaper.
Baby poop? Let me check.
Change diaper.
Let me check. You right? I'm going to change him.
I mean, that's kind of amazing, right?
It is. It's pretty amazing. I mean, the thing is, if we did that with our dogs would have all the naughty words. Like I could just see my husband would be training our dogs to say the gnarliest things. Like that's the thing. You know that would happen.
I mean, but it would be super fun.
It would be kind of fun.
It'd be super fun.
Let
me make sure I didn't forget anybody. C Noons, thank you. C Noons says currently in the land of DeSantis. Happy 31st to my girl Kate. So proud of her smart, badass self, thinking critically. Happy birthday to her. Okay. I just wanted to show you like a really fat squirrel. There's like not much to this except for how fat the squirrel is. Look at this.
Look at this fat ass, giant, morbidly obese squirrel.
What in the world?
Oh my God. She's shaming that squirrel.
That squirrel needs to be shamed. Let's face it.
Squirrel needs some
Totally. This is going to be an animal-filled TikTok, by the way. Dolphins playing catch with people is basically my new favorite thing.
Look, guys, dolphins, you're not going to believe this. I'm playing catch with them. Ready? Go get it.
No way. I love dolphins.
What do you mean? Come on, you'll bring it back to me. Ready?
Is he going to throw it back?
Oh,
God, they're
he'll come
so
and get
awesome.
it. Oh, we're stuck on the thing, look.
I would jump in with them.
Ready? You want it? All right, I'll put it in. Catch it then.
Oh my God, I love them.
Isn't that the coolest?
How lucky am I? Oh my God. How'd you chucked it back? I can't get over it.
I love that. One of the
Yeah,
comments is,
go
I would
then.
cancel my entire life until they were done playing. Yeah. I would
Right?
too. I
You would
seriously
have
stop
to.
everything. Stop everything.
Oh my God, I just love that. Love it. And then the hilarious chick from Knuckle Bump Farms with the emu, Emmanuel, who's always like fighting with the camera and everything.
Yep.
This is actually a very sweet moment from Knuckle Bump Farms.
I decided to do a little experiment. I'm like, I want to go sit down in the pasture and not say anything and just see
which animal comes up to me first. And lo and behold, look at who just came and laid down in my lap.
It's the emu.
Emmanuel, did you just come lay down in Mama's lap? You love your mama?
They terrify me.
You love Mama? You me sing you a song?
They're super creepy looking,
You
but
me to sing
look
you a
at how
special song?
sweet.
It always puts you to sleep.
I don't know. I mean, whenever we go on those wildlife safaris, they scare the crap out of me, you guys.
They're terrifying. They're dinosaurs.
Yeah, they chase you like they're gonna kill you. They freak me out.
But this is very sweet.
I'm concerned about a comment. Ashley said that dolphins are rapists. What does that even mean? What does that mean?
I don't want to know.
What does that mean, Ashley? I mean, you're gonna have to type some comments, like some.
I don't want to know
additional
that.
context to the comment. I don't know what that means.
If that is a thing, I would like to unknow that at once because that's not okay.
You can't just throw that in the
Kim
comments.
says dolphin rape is real. My friend Kim is here, and she says dolphin rape is real. Why would you say that to me?
Dolphin rape is real?
That's what she said.
They rape each other?
Okay, that
dolphins will try
Are
to
you
have
sure
sex
it's
with
rape,
humans?
and that's just not like how they mate. Like it's
they're gonna try to have sex with humans. Really? They will
What?
violate you. Oh my gosh, this is a known thing. How do we not know this? I was today years old when I learned that.
Wow. Kim says they have prehensile penises. Okay, everybody needs to stop. Everybody needs to stop saying these horrible things. This is like when you tried to say you tried to spread that misinformation about quokkas throwing away their babies, and that is false.
Is it false?
It's fake news. I sent you the link to the article. I
Okay.
wrote about it.
All right, I'm sorry. Quokkas don't throw away their babies, but people are saying that dolphins try to hunt people. This is.
I mean, dogs. Like, is it really that bad? Like, is
No,
it
I
really
feel
like
like-
a violent thing?
No, I feel like dolphins are. Somebody says Felicia said dolphins are jerks.
Okay, this is not okay.
This
is not okay. I don't consent to knowing this information.
Oh my god.
I don't want to know this.
Oh my god,
This is so
everybody's
bad.
saying that they're humpers. Everybody. Hashtag dolphins are humpers. Everybody's saying it. Everybody.
I don't want to know that.
Wow. And then people,
Okay.
all right.
We're moving
Okay.
on. We're
We
moving
have
on
to
because I
move
have two.
on. We
I
have
actually
to.
have. Well, yeah, I'll save this other one for tomorrow. But we have two more to show you that are cats. Because as you know, there's people are typically dog people or cat people. Some are both, and that's fine. But this guy is definite dog person, but sometimes the cat distribution system will find you. And I have decided, Daisy, that that's how you need to get a cat. Like you just need to wait for the cat to come
to
you.
me, to pick me. Right.
Because it will. Eventually this is going to happen and you won't be able to resist
because
it.
I put it out in the universe and I feel like
Right.
the universe now is listening to me and a cat will find me.
Totally.
I am in agreement with this. Yeah.
Totally. So this guy had the cat distribution system come to him and he didn't want it. Here's what he said about it.
You know what really sucks is that I am not a cat person. I'm a dog person. But this is the third day I've walked through this cemetery that I've seen this little kitten.
Oh my God.
And the first couple days, it ran off. Today, it didn't move. And it looks like it's like barely alive. Like,
Oh my God.
and it stinks. Yeah, it's like been eating dead things, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. But look.
I'd take it home.
Now I gotta figure out what to do with this cat.
Right. You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
So
Call it George. It's your cat. That's your cat now.
I mean, obviously, when I saw that has 1.5 million views on it. I went straight to his account to find out what he did with the cat, and this was the most recent video.
It's his cat now.
I mean, look,
that cat is his. Stinky cat. I love
you can
it.
hear it purring.
God bless him.
He's really damn cute.
He really is cute. He is cute.
So he has a cat now, thanks to the cat distribution.
I wonder what
system.
he named it.
I'll be watching because I want to know too. But that's a cat that picks its owner.
He looks like a Larry.
The cat or the dude?
The cat.
The dude kind of looks like a Larry too. I don't know what his name is.
Okay.
But he does look like a Larry.
I know. Save all the strays, right? Save them all.
By the way,
God
just
bless
getting
him.
back to the dolphin thing really fast, because I saw a lot of people saying that they swam with dolphins or won't swim with dolphins or would like to swim with dolphins. I swam with dolphins and I did not get humped. They were very, very kind
Well,
to
maybe
me.
they didn't like you. Maybe they didn't find you attractive. I mean,
it's possible. I mean,
true.
that's been known to happen.
Maybe they
in
don't
the
like
past.
blondes. Maybe they only like brunettes. Maybe that particular dolphin had a thing for brunettes or redheads, you know?
Did you know that what I learned in that experience from the little guide that was like talking all about the dolphins is that they work like ultrasounds. They know people are pregnant. They can see they can see the babies. Yeah. That's what I learned.
Oh my goodness. That's
I've never forgotten that.
cool.
That's
Very,
the
very
kind
cool.
of stuff I want to know about dolphins, not all this raping stuff. I don't want to know that. Do not want to know
that they're
that.
rapey. Exactly.
Luke. Hot Luke.
Yeah, that's the
Hot
thing.
Luke is
Jason
here.
said maybe your dolphin was gay.
Well, I swam with two. There were two. Maybe they were gay together.
Maybe they were gay together. Yeah.
And they were
maybe
just
they were a
like,
couple.
not interested in
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
Maybe. Luke, thank you. Luke says, good morning, beautiful ladies and handsome gents. Everyone have a great day. That cat was so cute. It was
So
really
cute. You guys, I have gifts. I have a lot of gifts I need
Oh,
to
yeah.
go through at the end, so we can bring it in, and then I'm going to do the gift thing because I have some really awesome gifts, some of which you've already kind of gone through, but I'm going to go through too. So have a great day. If you want to leave, if you want to stay, you can go through the gifts with me because I have some doozies. Are you ready?
Yay. Ready.
Okay. Of course, Via always gets the greatest gifts, right? Look at my
So
journal.
good.
Look at my journal.
Oh my
Cute,
God.
right? And then listen, I had cleaned out a closet the other day and I had to throw away a Rolling Stones t-shirt because it was so old and had holes in it. It was gross. Look what shows up.
Oh my gosh.
Can you even? Like she gets
It's
me
like
this
she
ador-
just knew.
It's like she knew. Via, mwah, I love you. Like you
That's
always
awesome.
You do too much for us.
I know, for
Like,
real.
seriously,
It's
way
too much.
Okay, I started bawling hysterically yesterday because I get this from Diane. I think it's Diane Rusty is how I think I got the last name right, Diane. Look at this ornament, okay? Can you see it? It says I miss you.
Oh
And then it's like basically me. It says Amy Jo, and then it says Cash. Can you see it? And it says I know.
Ah!
I was dying yesterday.
Oh my God.
I know. And even Greg, my husband, he was like, seriously? I know. We both were just like, it's just the sweetest. And I love that it's an ornament because I have a gigantic 12-foot tree and it's all sentimental ornaments. I
Mhm.
love ornaments. Thank you for that. That was so, so sweet. Okay. This, unbelievable. Jody Dean made a scrapbook for baby Henry.
You showed this to me yesterday and I was absolutely losing my mind.
I cannot, I'm gonna have to back up to show
Here,
you.
I'll embiggen. Hang on.
Look
there we
at
go.
this, you guys. Can you see? Like it's a scrapbook and it has like every like all the
Milestone.
stuff in here, every milestone, like every holiday. Like, can you see? Like
It's gorgeous.
Christmas, it has all the stuff for spring. It has stuff for like St. Patrick's Day. Can you see all this?
Oh my God. It's
Easter,
amazing.
everything. I mean, she basically made a scrapbook. So all that I have to do is put his little pictures in there. I cannot. The
It's
amount of
gorgeous.
time this must have taken. I love it so much. Thank you. Just the sweetest. So, God, people are unreal. I just cannot. That is so incredibly sweet. Thank you. I got a bunch of cards. Like gift cards and everything. So it was Teggy Peterson, who is an insider, and Nancy Ingram, who is a local supporter, and they got me some Chick-fil-A gift cards, which I will use promptly.
Aw.
So thank you for that. It was so, so sweet. I got a bunch of cards just like from Kathy Proctor. I got some cards for being for our day, our Chicks on the Right Day.
Yes.
Kelly for Chicks on the Right Day. I got a really sweet Visa gift card. I think you got the same thing from Kim Poole. I've got a Visa gift card for Chicks on the Right Day. From Renee for Chicks on the Right Day. And then Kathy, is it Carly? I'm sorry. Is it Carly? Carly Mills Burns. I think I got that right for Chicks on the Right Day. And then also, I got this really cool thing. I thought this was really neat. I've never seen anything quite like this. It's from Cami Sweeten. And look at this. It's like a card. When I opened it up.
Yes. Mine was like a sunflowers. It's super cool.
Isn't that neat? And mine's cactus for where I live. I love it. I'm going to have to put it right back there so you guys can see it all the time. But it's paper. Isn't that neat?
It's super neat. I know. I love it. It's like an actual bouquet. Exactly.
And I kill it, you guys. And I think, and then I got a really sweet, I don't have them in here. I got a really sweet letter from Christine Casey. Thank you, Christine. I read the whole thing. It was a beautiful letter. And some of those, it's like candy corn, but they're the pumpkins. And I've already eaten like half of them. They're in my kitchen. So thank you for that. And I think that's it. I think I covered everybody. I just wanted to thank everybody for all those lovely gifts. And I will go get Astrid.
Yeah, go get her. We need some flippity flappities. And by the way, thank you to insiders and supporters for helping us remember so many of our chickisms. Because you guys are all over it. And I'm just so excited that you helped us remember so many that we'd forgotten. It was so like a trip down memory lane. It was so much fun.
Are you going to flap? Are you going to flap? How about I just kiss you? He's not going to flap, but he just says hello. There's no flapping. He's just crazy.
No
so
flapping.
You got to see Coda, everybody.
All right.
Astrid's not coming in here.
Okay. Oh, God. So gross.
Everybody have a wonderful day.
Wait, I got one more sticker to thank. Stephanie. Stephanie, mom, thank you. She says, my first super sticker. Rarely get to watch live, but always have the chicks in my pocket and am a supporter. Love you, chicks, and thank you for all you do. Well, hi, Stephanie. We ran long today, so that's probably why you were able to be in here. Appreciate you. Thank you very much, everybody.
You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.